Today we're going to talk about stress. This is what the new blog will be about, but I did want to give you a little bit of background on it before I talk about how to handle it. I'm going to go through that in the blog. This will be a little bit of nerdy. I'll try not to get too nerdy on you, but when I first started taking my symptoms that I was still having, even though I took the medicine into my own hands, I had to start doing research. Thank goodness I knew how to do that. Of course, we did have the internet and everything when I first started, but I could go to certain things and look at certain papers and studies and knew that they were going to be the real deal. It wasn't a lot of misinformation at that point, and it wasn't a lot of information that just came from everywhere. So I could go on to the internet, but I did get a hold of some studies. I got a hold of how to even read my labs. I didn't know how to do that. I just trusted what the doctor said. And my labs, the numbers were good and everything, but I still had the symptoms. But I needed to know how it worked. So what I did, it took about 2 years. And so I started eating right. I started noticing that helped a lot. Then I started exercising after I felt well enough, and that helped even more. But I still was having flare-ups every now and then. So I couldn't understand that. But when you first get your thyroid levels checked, they're going to look for certain things. They're going to look for the TSH, and that's the the thyroid hormone that's being released from your brain, from the hypothalamus, that lets you know, lets it know how much to release. If it's too low, it will release a certain amount. If it's too high, it won't. So, since we're talking about hypothyroidism, we'll stick with that. Now, the other two numbers that I'm sure that you've heard are the T4 and the T3 hormones. The T3 goes immediately to your cellular level, to the DNA, and attaches with the receptors. And that makes up 3%, I believe. It's 3 or 7. 3%, I'm going to stay there. It's not a lot. And the other one, and it's an active one. Well, then you have your inactive, which is the T4. Now, the T4 must go through the liver to be converted to T3. And then it can be converted, then it can go straight to the cellular level. So whatever your T4 was at the beginning, could be one number. By the time it converts, it could be another number altogether. So there is more testing that does need to be done that most doctors don't do. Now, I will be putting together a checklist of the things that you need to talk to your doctor about, even vitamins you need to see, how much you make of, all that kind of thing. You'll need to do a much broader testing than what they do to see exactly what's going on. But I'll stop it there, so far as the nerdy part. But those two things need to be done. Well, I was still noticing flare-ups, so I started looking at that. And then I did go get some more numbers done again, and my cortisol was very high, which means I was under some stress. As I said, that's what will happen, and it was staying high. Well, this is when I was helping Joseph with his stem cell transplant. So yes, that was very stressful, and it wasn't going away. It was staying there, and now I'm a full-time caregiver. Definitely not going away. So I had to figure out how to get this down. Well, doing the research on that, I found that if you're in your fight or flight, which is one part of the system that we have, if you're in that all the time, then you can't do your rest and digest. So there's another part, and your body's staying there. So my brain wasn't able to. It was so busy with the flight or fright that I couldn't. It couldn't do its job it needed to do to get these things converted. Especially, and then we're talking 93% or 97%. If that's not converting, then of course your medicine's not going to work. So, and of course, you're going to have all these symptoms. So, that's why in this blog that I goes out today, that I will be letting you know how the different techniques that I use to deal with stress, and hopefully that will keep their flare-ups from happening, and it will get you on a good foundation for if you are still taking meds, that you can use that to get these the hormones working the way that they should be. Everybody have a great day.